death. It is the one event every human will face, yet the one we understand the least. We plan for careers, we plan for love, we even plan for tomorrow's meal. But death, it is the visitor we prepare for only in whispers. Cultures across the world agree on one thing: when the body ends, something lingers. The Egyptians called it the Ka. The Chinese spoke of the Hun and Po. Christians imagined a soul awaiting judgment. Different names, different rituals, but the same intuition. Death does not erase us completely. Pause for a moment. Think of a loved one you have lost. Do they not still visit you in dreams? Do they not still echo in your memory, as if part of them has refused to leave? We call this grief. We call this memory. But what if it is more than that? The Tao does not treat death as an ending. It treats it as transformation. Just as water turns to mist or a seed becomes a tree, the spirit shifts its form. The question is not, do we vanish? The question is, where do we flow next? And here lies the mystery. If energy cannot be destroyed, what becomes of the human spirit? Does it dissolve back into the Tao? Does it linger near the living, searching for closure? Or does it travel through stages, as if passing through hidden gates on its way home? Every tradition holds a map, but none of them are the territory itself. The Buddhists speak of the bardo. The Taoists speak of returning to the source. Indigenous shamans speak of crossing rivers. These are not contradictions. They are symbols. Different languages for the same invisible journey. Modern science avoids the subject. It speaks only of neurons, of brain waves fading into silence. But ask anyone who has kept watch beside a dying loved one. They will tell you. Something leaves, something subtle but undeniable. This is why the question lingers. Are the dead still with us? Do they walk in the spaces between memory and dream? Do they touch us when we feel chills without cause? Do they hear us when we whisper their names at night? The Tao invites us not to dismiss these questions, but to walk with them, because in death, as in life, truth often speaks in whispers. When breath leaves the body, the great mystery begins. The question is ancient. It whispers in every culture. Where does the spirit go? Some traditions say upward, to heaven, to light, to reunion with God. Others say downward, to earth, to ancestors, to hidden realms beneath the world. And some say inward, to dissolve back into the source from which we came. The Tao teaches returning is the motion of the Tao. To return is not to vanish. It is to flow back into the infinite. The river does not die in the sea, it becomes the sea. Yet people across history have noticed something strange. Spirits do not always leave quickly. A door may open, but not every soul steps through. Some linger, some wander, some stay close to the living. In Tibetan Buddhism, this passage is called the bardo, a state between worlds, neither fully gone nor fully here. In Taoist texts, the soul divides, one part rising, one part sinking, one part lingering near the family. Notice the pattern. No culture imagines death as instant erasure. They all imagine a journey, a gradual unfolding, a journey of days, of weeks, sometimes even of years. Why? Because human beings have felt it. They have sensed the presence of the departed lingering among them. Think of the stories you have heard. A clock stopping at the exact moment of death, a bird tapping on the window after a funeral, a voice calling in the night when no one is there. Coincidence? Perhaps. But why do so many people across so many lands tell the same kinds of stories? Even in modern times, we hear of hospital workers who see patients appear in hallways after they have already passed. We hear of children speaking to grandparents they never met in life. We hear of people smelling a familiar perfume in an empty room. Science calls these hallucinations of grief, but science is also limited. It can measure blood, but not memory. It can track neurons, but not longing. And longing itself may be the very bridge where the living and the dead still meet. Maybe the soul is not a passenger on a train, instantly leaving one station for another. Maybe it is more like smoke, rising slowly, shifting, finding its way through unseen air. The Tao does not hurry. Neither does the soul. Death is not a door slammed shut. It is a threshold, crossed step by step. Like dusk, fading into night, there is no sharp line. There is only the slow blending of two worlds into each other. This is why rituals exist. Funerals, prayers, candles, chants. They are not only for the living, they are also for the dead, to guide them, to light the way, to remind them that departure is safe. Without ritual, the spirit may hesitate. It may look back, longing for the life it left. It may linger at the doorway, unsure whether it is welcome to move on. And so the question remains, where do we go after death? The truest answer may be this: not far, not at first. The soul rests near, hovering like a shadow, until it learns to walk on air. Think of a song fading. The last notes echo long after the music has stopped. So it is with us. When the body ends, the spirit does not vanish. It reverberates, it shimmers, it circles the lives of those still here, until one day, quietly, gently, it drifts beyond our sight. And when that moment comes, the spirit does not disappear. It returns, it rejoins, it becomes part of the greater flow. But until then, its nearness is real, its presence is felt. So, where do we go after death? Perhaps the only honest answer is, we go where love still calls us. We go where memory still holds us, and we stay until the river of the Tao carries us all the way home. In many traditions, the first 7 days after death are the most mysterious. The living grieve, the dead hesitate. The veil between worlds feels thin. In Chinese folk belief, this is called Tou Qi, the head 7. It is said the spirit of the departed does not leave immediately. Instead, it hovers close, returning home, watching, listening. On the 7th day, it is believed the soul comes back to visit, not to frighten, but to say farewell. Some families even prepare a seat, a bowl of rice, or a candle to welcome the presence. Why 7 days? Why not 3 or 10 or 30? The number 7 carries ancient power. 7 stars of the Big Dipper. 7 days of creation. 7 stages of transformation in many mystical systems. It is a rhythm of completion, yet not finality. A cycle, a pause, before moving on. Psychologically, 7 days is also when grief first begins to settle in. The initial shock fades, and the absence becomes real. It is a threshold week for both the living and the dead. Many people report strange experiences in this window. Dreams so vivid they feel like visitations. Objects moving, lights flickering, unexplained sense in the night. The dead seem to linger most within this sacred span of days. From a Taoist view, this is because the soul is still in transition. One part is rising toward the heavens, one part is sinking into the earth, and one part still circles the home, reluctant to let go. It is not confusion, it is rhythm. The soul unwinds itself slowly. Imagine a lamp being turned off. The bulb does not go dark instantly. It glows, it flickers, before fading away. The soul does the same. It glows a little longer in the places it once loved. This is why so many cultures instruct the family not to disturb the home too soon. Clothes are left hanging, food is offered, the bed is not cleared, because the spirit may still return to rest, to smell, to taste, to remember. But there is another reason. The living also needs 7 days. 7 days to cry. 7 days to speak final words into the quiet air. 7 days to sense that love does not vanish with death. The ritual of 7 is not only for the spirit, it is also for the heart. Some say if you light incense, the departed will follow the smoke. If you call their name softly, they will hear, not to hold them back, but to assure them, you are remembered, you are loved, you may go in peace. And what if you dream of them? Do not dismiss it. The dream is often their way of visiting, not to haunt, but to whisper, I am still here. Do not fear. I will find my way. This is the subtle beauty of the head 7. It teaches us that departure is not abrupt. There is time, there is space, there is softness in the crossing. But there is also a caution. If the living cling too tightly, the soul may hesitate. If grief becomes a chain, the spirit may linger longer than needed. That is why rituals exist, to balance love with release, memory with letting go. The Tao reminds us, life flows like water. Death also flows like water. To block the river is to cause stagnation. To let it move is to allow both banks, the living and the dead, to find peace. So in those first 7 days, treat the air as sacred. Speak with kindness. Pray with gentleness. Know that the one who left is still listening, still near. But also know, on the 7th day they begin to walk farther, and the path forward is theirs to take. The lesson of the head 7 is simple. Love is a bridge, but love is also a release. To say farewell is not to sever, it is to open the gate and trust the soul to continue its journey. And when you feel them closest, remember this: they are not trapped, they are not lost, they are simply pausing, hovering, taking one last look back before stepping into the great beyond. Not every spirit departs easily. Some linger, some wander, some remain bound to the world. Why? The Tao reminds us, when water flows freely, it is clear. When blocked, it becomes stagnant. The soul is the same. Unfinished attachments become dams across its river. One reason souls linger is unresolved love. A parent who cannot release a child. A lover who feels their bond was broken too soon. A friend who left without goodbye. Love, when clung to with desperation, becomes an anchor. The spirit hovers, hoping to finish what cannot be finished. Another reason is unfinished duty, a promise unkept, a debt unpaid, a word unsaid. The soul circles the earth as if it can still correct what was left undone. But death does not allow rewinding, it only allows release. There is also fear of judgment, fear of nothingness, fear of letting go of the familiar. Imagine a bird standing on the edge of a branch, afraid to leap. The sky is vast, but the unknown feels heavy. So the spirit clings to the branch of the living. Sometimes souls linger because of trauma, a sudden death, an accident, a violent ending. When the body falls abruptly, the spirit may not realize it has gone. It keeps replaying the final moment like a record caught in a loop. Have you ever felt a place that seems haunted? A battlefield? An old hospital? A ruined home? Often it is not because the dead wish to harm, but because their final moment was too abrupt to accept. They are caught in repetition, like echoes that never fade. There are also spirits bound by resentment. Anger can tie a soul just as tightly as love. When wrongs feel unhealed, the spirit may stay, seeking justice, seeking acknowledgement. But anger keeps it heavy, unable to rise. And sometimes, the reason is simpler. The soul does not want to leave. It enjoyed the taste of life too much, the warmth of home, the sound of laughter, the touch of familiar walls. It clings not because of pain, but because of attachment. Even joy can become a chain. From the Taoist view, all of these reasons are one thing: incomplete flow. Life must flow into death as naturally as day into night. When we resist, we remain in twilight, neither fully alive nor fully gone. But what happens to such souls? Some become restless presences, shadows in corners, dreams that disturb rather than comfort, echoes that wander with no place to belong. They are not evil, but they are uneasy, not demons but unfinished journeys. And here lies a paradox. The living often hold on to the dead, and the dead often hold on to the living. Two hands gripping each other, neither wanting to release, but both must, for peace to come. This is why so many cultures create rituals of release, prayers, offerings, songs, candles. They are not only for comfort, they are for guidance. They whisper to the soul, "It is safe, you may go, you are free." Even science offers a mirror to this. Psychologists speak of closure. Without closure, grief lingers. Without closure, love becomes pain. The Tao would agree. Closure is not forgetting, it is flowing onward. So why do some souls refuse to leave? Because the river of their being is still entangled in roots and rocks. But water always finds a way. If not today, then tomorrow. If not in this world, then in the next. The Tao ensures nothing remains stuck forever. For the living, the lesson is profound. If you love the departed, do not bind them. Do not hold them down with endless grief. Instead, offer love as wings. Offer memory as blessing. Offer farewell as freedom. The Tao whispers, the way forward is always open, even for the dead, even for the living. Let both flow together, then part, like two rivers meeting briefly before diverging again. And if you ever sense a spirit near, ask yourself, are they here because of me or because of themselves? If because of me, then I must release. If because of themselves, then I must pray that they too learn to release. Souls refuse to leave for many reasons, but in every case, the solution is one: letting go. Letting go of fear, letting go of anger, letting go of attachment. When the spirit learns this, and when we learn it too, the path clears, and both worlds find peace. If a spirit lingers, are we powerless? Or can the living guide the dead toward rest? Across cultures, the answer has always been yes. The living and the dead remain connected. What one does can influence the other. Think of the Tao. It is a river flowing through all things. The living are one shore, the dead are the other, and between them flows a current. In ancient China, families burned incense and paper offerings, not as superstition but as nourishment for the spirit's journey. The smoke was a bridge, a signal rising upward, guiding the departed onward. In Christianity, prayers for the dead are offered in quiet churches. The words rise like lanterns. They do not bind the soul, they bless it, they release it. In Buddhism, chanting is performed for 49 days, guiding the spirit through the bardo. The living give their voice so the dead do not walk in silence. Even in modern psychology, rituals of farewell matter. Writing a letter to the departed, lighting a candle, speaking their name with love. These are bridges too, not of smoke, but of memory. So, what is really happening when the living help the dead? It is energy exchange. Grief is heavy, love is light. Our emotions form currents that reach beyond the body. When we weep endlessly, we pull the spirit back. When we release with love, we help it move forward. Have you noticed? A dream of the departed can sometimes bring peace. They appear smiling, saying, "I am well, do not worry." Is it only imagination? Or is it their way of showing that our letting go has allowed them to rise? The Tao says, when you release, the whole world breathes easier. When we release the dead, they breathe easier too. But release does not mean forgetting. We fear letting go because we think memory will fade. Yet memory is not a chain. It is a lantern. It can shine without binding. So how can we help the dead? The ways are simple but profound. First, by acknowledging them. Speak their name. Tell their story. Do not pretend they never lived. The spirit is soothed when it knows it is not erased. Second, by offering light. Light a candle. Burn incense. Say a prayer. Not because they need fire or smoke, but because ritual shapes intention, and intention shapes energy. Third, by releasing them. Say aloud, I love you, but I release you. You are free. These words are powerful. They cut the invisible threads that keep the soul bound. Fourth, by living well. The dead rest when the living thrive. If we sink into despair, the departed may feel responsible, but when we flourish, they rise with us. Your joy is their release. And finally, by trusting the Tao. No spirit is lost forever. Even if they linger, the current will carry them. Our role is not to drag them upward, it is to open the path and trust that they will walk it. Some may ask, can the dead hear us? The Tao answers softly, if your heart speaks, they will feel it. For the connection is not of ears, but of essence. Imagine this. A loved one stands at the edge of a misty forest. They hesitate. They look back. You cannot cross with them, but you can whisper, it's safe. Go on. I will be okay. And with that, they take the step. This is the role of the living, not to hold the dead back, but to give them courage to go forward. And when we do this, we discover a hidden gift. Helping the dead helps us too. By releasing them, we release ourselves. By guiding them to peace, we find peace. The Tao flows both ways. The living help the dead bless the living. It is not separation, it is exchange, a cycle without end. So, can the living help the dead find peace? Yes, not with force, but with love. Not with fear, but with release. And when we practice this, death ceases to be an end. It becomes a passage, for them and for us. Not all lingering is gentle. Sometimes it becomes heavy. Sometimes it drains the living. Sometimes it blurs the path of the dead. The Tao seeks balance. When flow stops, shadow grows. So what can we do when a spirit stays too long? First, we listen. Then we set boundaries, not with fear, with clarity, with love. How do you know it has stayed too long? When comfort turns to unrest, when memory turns to weight, when sleep is broken, dreams are agitated and the home feels dim, discernment matters. Not every creak is a ghost. Check the ordinary first. Light, wiring, drafts, pipes. The Tao honors the simple before the mystical. If the ordinary is cleared and the heaviness remains, tend to the energy, gently, respectfully, firmly. Start with yourself. Your body is your altar. Eat warm food, sleep on time, breathe deeper than your fear. Vitality is protection. Exhaustion is invitation. Now the home. Homes hold memory, like jars hold water. When water stands too long, we change it. So we refresh the space. So we let the river move. Open windows, invite sunlight, sweep floors from the center to the door. Say quietly, old wind out, new wind in. Use sound. Sound breaks stagnation. Ring a small bell, clap in corners, strike a singing bowl once, and let the note fill the room. Sound tells the space. Wake, flow. Use scent. Scent teaches breath. Incense, sandalwood, frankincense, or herbs you honor. Let smoke wander slowly. Let it trace thresholds, mirrors, and corners. Say, may peace remain, may clinging release. Use water and salt. Salt grounds, water carries. Dissolve a pinch of salt in a bowl of clean water. Touch door frames lightly. Touch windows lightly. Whisper, return to clarity. Then pour the water outside the home with thanks. Make a boundary. Boundaries are love with edges. Stand in the center of a room. Place your hand on your chest. Breathe. Say clearly, this is a home of the living. You may visit in peace. You may not disturb our rest. Say when. Say how. Say no. Consent applies to spirits too. Compassion is not compliance. You can be kind and still be firm. You can bless and still set limits. Offer a place for remembrance. One small table, one photo, one candle. Too many altars can weave too many cords. Simple is steady. Simple is clear. If tears rise, let them. Tears cleanse the corridor between worlds. But after tears, breathe, release. Say, I love you. I also let you go. Give a path outward. Thresholds teach direction. Place a candle near the door. Place a flower on the windowsill. Open the door for a minute. Let the air move. Say, ancestors, receive. Guides, lead. Friend, walk in light. Then close the door with gratitude. If the presence feels tangled, offer a bridge of words. Speak the name. Speak the truth. You died suddenly. It was frightening. You are safe now. You are free now. Name the knot. Naming loosens it. Write a letter. Say what was unsaid. Fold it. Burn it safely. Watch the smoke climb. Say, go where smoke goes. Go where love goes. If the energy is insistent, set visiting hours. Yes, visiting hours. Say, you may come in dreams. You may not wake the children. You may not touch the doors. Structure creates ease, even between worlds. If children are involved, keep it gentle. Believe them without feeding fear. Teach them to wave and say, peace be with you. Please let me sleep. Then place a small nightlight. Light is language. If anger rises in the space, do not wrestle with it. Anger feeds anger. Silence feeds shadow. Choose a third path. Calm truth. Say, this home is not for anger. What you seek is beyond the door. Go. Short, clear, clean. Some traditions tie knots in string for each attachment named. When ready, untie each knot. Name it as it loosens. Burn the string, or cast it into running water. Let the river complete what the hands began. After any clearing, ground yourself. Eat. Touch the earth. Rinse hands in cool water. Salt bath the feet. Warm tea for the chest. Return to body. Return to life. Remember the ethic. Do no harm. We do not banish with hate. We release with compassion. Hate binds. Compassion unties. Still, be honest. If distress persists, seek help. A wise elder, a spiritual guide, a therapist you trust. The Tao values support. The Tao values skill. Also, make life bigger. Life crowds out shadow. Invite friends. Cook together. Play music. Laugh loudly. Joy is medicine. Joy is boundary. Do something in their honor that moves the world forward. Plant a tree. Donate in their name. Finish a work they began. Action turns grief into blessing. Blessing opens gates. And sometimes, the most powerful act is simple consent. Time passes, but the heart remembers. And every year, the same date returns. The day of death, the day of parting. What should we do on this day? For some, it is a day of mourning. Tears flow again. The wound reopens. For others, it is a day of honor, a quiet ritual, a way to keep connection alive. The Tao teaches, both mourning and honoring can have meaning, but the intention matters. In Chinese culture, death anniversaries are marked with offerings. Food is placed on the table. Tea is poured. Incense is lit. The family speaks words of remembrance, as if the departed were still present. It is not pretending, it is acknowledging. The dead may have gone, but their place at the table remains. In Japan, the Obon festival invites spirits home. Lanterns are floated on rivers to guide them back. The living dance in circles, celebrating life and death together. The message is clear. Death is not silence. It is rhythm. A return, a departure, a return again. In the West, memorial services and masses are common. Some light candles in churches. Others visit cemeteries. Some simply gather as a family, sharing stories of the one who has passed. The form may differ, but the essence is the same: to remember, to connect, to release. So what should you do on a death anniversary? The answer is not fixed, it is personal, but there are guiding principles. First, acknowledge. Do not treat the day as ordinary. Mark it in some way. Even a moment of silence is enough. When you pause, you tell the departed, "I have not forgotten," and in return, you feel them near. Second, offer. Offer what you can. It may be incense, it may be food, it may be flowers, or it may simply be words spoken in the quiet of your heart. Offerings are less about objects and more about intention. The spirit does not consume rice or tea, but they sense the love that placed it there. Third, release. Remember, but do not cling. On anniversaries, grief can rise again. Tears may flow. This is natural. But balance mourning with release. Say to them, "I miss you, but I also set you free." This is the Tao's way, to hold and to let go in the same breath. Fourth, celebrate life. Not only theirs, but your own. Live fully on that day. Do something they loved. Cook their favorite meal. Play their favorite song. In living well, you honor them. The dead do not want us to shrink into shadow. They want us to shine. Have you noticed? Sometimes anniversaries bring dreams. A loved one appears, smiling, reassuring, blessing. This is no accident. Anniversaries are thresholds. The veil is thinner. The connection is stronger. By honoring the day, you open the door. So do not fear these days. Do not dread their return. Instead, treat them as sacred pauses, moments when the river of time slows down and the living and the dead draw close again. Some ask, should I cry or should I smile? The Tao answers, both. Tears cleanse, smiles bless. Allow both and the balance is complete. And if guilt arises, if you think, I did not do enough, I was not there, I should have said more, remember this, the dead see more clearly now. They do not dwell on faults, they rest in essence, and essence is love, so meet them with love. Even if words were unspoken before, they can be spoken now. The spirit still hears. On anniversaries, Rituals help the living as much as the dead. They structure grief. They transform sorrow into beauty. They weave memory into presence. Without ritual, pain repeats without form. With ritual, pain becomes a path. Here is a practice. Light a candle. Place a photo. Sit in silence. Breathe. Remember. Whisper gratitude. Then blow out the candle, trusting that the flame lives on in another world. Another practice. Write a letter to the departed. Tell them what has happened in your life. Tell them what you wish you could share. Then fold the paper. Burn it. Let the smoke rise, carrying your words to the unseen. Or gather with family. Tell stories. Laugh. Cry. Embrace. Every story told is another step in keeping the bond alive. The Tao does not demand one form. It whispers, do what feels true. If true grief comes, grieve. If joy comes, celebrate. Both are paths, both are offerings. So, what should we do on death anniversaries? We should pause, we should honor, we should release, we should live. And if you do, something shifts. The day becomes less heavy. It becomes luminous. It becomes not just a remembrance of death, but a celebration of life, a bridge of love, a moment of Tao. In the end, the question is not only, are the dead still with us? The deeper question is, how do we walk with them without losing our own step? The Tao teaches cycles. Nothing vanishes. Nothing holds forever. Life flows into death. Death flows into memory. Memory flows into meaning. So when we speak of the dead, we speak of presence, but also of return. Return to soil, return to stars, return to silence. And yet, something remains. Not a ghost that clings, but an echo that guides. The echo of their laugh, the echo of their lessons. These do not fade, they ripple. To live well with the dead is not to chase their shadow. It is to honor their light. Light is not worship. Light is gratitude. When you say, thank you for the time you gave, you set both of you free. On anniversaries, remember gently, light a candle, say their name. But do not drown in grief. Do not reopen wounds. Say instead, your story lives in me, and I walk it forward. The Tao of letting go is not about forgetting. It is about remembering without chains. It is about loving without clinging. Sometimes spirits linger because we hold too tight. Sometimes they depart when we finally release. So letting go is a gift to them, and a gift to ourselves. Letting go says, you are free to travel, and I am free to live. Still, you may feel them near, not as weight, but as wind, not as haunting, but as blessing. The Tao says, soft is strong. So we hold softly, we release softly. And in this softness, life and death find harmony. Think of it like breath. Inhale, life enters. Exhale, life releases. You cannot keep breath forever, nor should you. The beauty of breath is its coming and going. So too with souls. And when your own time comes, the Tao whispers, do not fear. You will become someone else's echo. You will become someone else's light. Until then, live wide, live deep, live kind. Carry the memory of the dead as seeds in your pocket. Plant them in every gesture of love. Then the circle is complete, not broken, complete. Death does not end relationship. It changes its form. The form becomes story. The story becomes Tao. So, are the dead still with us? Yes, but not to chain us, to remind us. Remind us to love before it's late, to release before we suffocate, to live while we are alive. This is the Tao of letting go. This is the truth of lingering spirits. Not a prison, but a passage. Not an ending, but a return. And as you finish listening, pause for one breath. Imagine those you've lost. Smile softly. Say, thank you. I walk forward now. The circle closes, the Tao continues, and so do you.